everybody. Welcome back to Goodnight, Lighthouse. I'm Miss Dorothy, and I'm ready to read you another story. And I'm going to read another story about Thanksgiving, because it's almost Thanksgiving time, and that's such a special time, and we want to learn as much as we can about it. And tonight, we're going to do it with some of our favorite bears, because this book is called The Berenstain Bears and the Prize Pumpkin. The Berenstain Bears and the Prize Pumpkin. Papa Bear grew a really big pumpkin, and he wants to enter it into a contest. But he starts forgetting what Thanksgiving is all about until somebody comes along and reminds him. We need to get into this book so we can find out about this pumpkin and what Papa Bear learns. Are you ready to get inside this book with Miss Dorothy? Good. I need you to sit up and listen up, because here we go. The Berenstain Bears and the Prize Pumpkin, written by Stan and Jan Berenstain. Pumpkins are just like everything else in nature, said Papa Bear, as he and the cubs finished weeding the pumpkin patch. No two of them are exactly alike. That's for sure, agreed Brother Bear. Look at that funny flat one, and that lumpy one over there. Then there was the giant, which is what Papa had named one that just seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. Why is it that no two things are exactly alike? Said Sister Bear. It's just the way nature is, answered Papa. Time to wash up for supper, called Mama Bear from the treehouse steps. They're working in the garden, but Mama says it's time for dinner. What about Queenie McBear's twin brother? Asked Sister. They certainly look a lot alike, said Papa, but I've noticed that Mrs. McBear can tell them apart quite easily. In you go, said Mama, shooing her family into the house. But Sister didn't go right in. She stood on the stoop for a moment and looked out over Bear Country. Sister's thinking hard about something. It was well into fall, so the days were getting shorter. Halloween had come and gone. Pretty soon the bears would start thinking about Christmas. But right now, Bear Country was aglow in the setting sun. Farmer Ben's well-kept farm looked especially fine, with its baled hay, corn shocks, and pumpkins casting long shadows. I guess nature is pretty amazing, Sister said as she looked out over the beautiful scene. It's the most amazing thing there is, said Mama. Now come on in now. In you go. Sister's really impressed with how pretty everything looks in the fall. Farmer Ben's farm sure looks beautiful in the setting sun, said Sister as the family sat down to supper. Huh, said Papa grumpily. Farmer Ben's not such a much. Not such a much, said Mama. Why, Ben is the finest farmer in Bear Country, and besides, he's one of your best friends. That may be so, said Papa, but earlier today he came by and said, Nice little pumpkin patch you've got there, Papa. What he said is true, said Mama, especially compared to his fields and fields of pumpkins. That may be so, too, grumped Papa, but I didn't like the way he said it. He sort of chuckled. My patch may be small, but the giant is big. It may be the biggest pumpkin in all of Bear Country. What do you think about that? Uh-oh, Papa's being a little grumpy about this. I think you're being oversensitive, said Mama. Come, let's clear the table so the cubs can do their homework. Oh, Brother and Sister sighed as they spread their books out on the table. What's that all about? Asked Papa. Oh, I was just thinking, said Brother. With Halloween over and Christmas almost 2 months away, there's nothing to look forward to. That's right, added Sister. Nothing except lots of homework. Oh, is that so? Protested Mama Bear. She knows there's something to look forward to before Christmas. It just so happens that there's something very important to look forward to. A very special holiday called Thanksgiving. That's when we give thanks for all the wonderful... Your Mama's absolutely right, interrupted Papa Bear. He pointed to a notice in the evening paper. It said, Don't forget this year's Thanksgiving festival. Entry blanks for the big pumpkin contest available at City Hall. Thanksgiving's a very important holiday, especially this year. because we're going to enter the giant in the pumpkin contest and beat the pants off Farmer Brown." "But Papa, he's a professional," said Brother. "He's won the contest 10 years in a row." "All the more reason to teach him a lesson. Come on, let's go out and check up on the next heavyweight pumpkin champion of Bear Country," he said. I don't think Papa's thinking about Thanksgiving the way he should. Now it was Mama's turn to sigh. "Oh, Thanksgiving was about giving thanks, not beating the pants off Farmer Ben." "Isn't it a beauty?" Papa said, after they admired the giant. Across the road they could see a field of Ben's pumpkins. There were lots of fine ones, but none that measured up to the giant. "There's homework to be done," called Mama Bear from the house. As they left, the cubs asked Papa, "Aren't you coming in?" "Nope," he said. "I'm going to stay out here a little while and watch the giant grow." Papa seems a little too interested in that pumpkin. And grow it did. It grew bigger and rounder and oranger every day. When Papa and the cubs went to City Hall to get an entry blank for the contest, they saw the place where the winning pumpkin would go on display. "We can't lose," said Papa. In their mind's eyes, they could see their pumpkin in a place of honor. Wow, that's where they're going to put the winning pumpkin, right outside City Hall. Mama tried to remind them what Thanksgiving was really about, but every time she did, Papa would interrupt. "You'll have to excuse me, my dear," he'd said. "It's time to water the giant." He not only watered it on a regular schedule and gave it special plant food, he also covered it with a blanket at night and tucked it in against the cold. Papa's really obsessed with this pumpkin. One afternoon, the cubs got off the school bus with something important to tell Papa, but they were stopped in their tracks by what they saw. He was talking to the giant. My goodness, he's over there reading in a book and talking. Come on, old buddy. You can do it. Suck up that water. Take in that sunlight." Uh-oh, Papa's a little too interested in that pumpkin. Mama explained that Papa had bought a book from the swindler Raffish Ralph about how to encourage your plants to grow by talking to them. "Well," said Brother, "I don't suppose it can do any harm." "It sure could harm his reputation," said Sister, "if anybody saw him talking to a pumpkin." Papa," Brother said, "a cub at school told me he went on a class trip to Ben's farm and saw some pretty big pumpkins, especially one really big pumpkin that Ben calls the monster." "We've got to go look at it," said Papa. Papa's worried about the pumpkin that's called the monster. That evening, Papa and the cubs climbed through the fence into Farmer Ben's field. They saw some good-sized pumpkins, but none to match the giant. "Maybe it's behind the barn," whispered Papa. Suddenly a light shone on them, and they heard Ben shout, "Prowlers in the pumpkin field! Get my pitchfork!" They got out of there so fast, Papa tore his overalls climbing through the fence. "What have you been up to?" asked Mama Bear when they got home. Nothing much," said Papa. Just strolling in the moonlight." Uh-oh, Papa's not telling Mama the truth. The weekend before Thanksgiving arrived, and it was time for the big festival. The Bear family got there just in time. The pumpkin judging was about to begin. There were many fine pumpkins in the contest, but Papa was sure that none could measure up to the giant, until he saw the monster. It was at least as big and round as orange as his pumpkin, and maybe just a little bigger and just a little rounder. Wow, they're all very nice-looking pumpkins, but that one called the monster is really big. The bears waited nervously while the judge studied, measured, and weighed, and then studied, measured, and weighed some more. Finally, they made their announcement. The first prize winner and still champion. Oh, no. Of course, that meant Farmer Ben had won. It was close. It turned out that Ben's monster was just a little bigger, a little rounder, and a little oranger than Papa's giant. But that wasn't the worst of it. The giant didn't even come in second. A beautiful pumpkin grown by Ms. McGrizz won the second prize. The giant came in third. Papa and the cubs were crushed and very quiet as they pushed their third prize winner home. Oh, he's so disappointed. But it's great that he came in third. It wasn't until they reached the crest of the hill that overlooked Bear Country that Mama decided to have her say. I know you're disappointed, but third prize is nothing to be ashamed of. Besides, Thanksgiving isn't about contests and prizes. It's about giving thanks. And it seems to me that we have a lot to be thankful for. Perhaps it was Mama's lecture, or maybe it was how beautiful Bear Country looked in the sunset's rosy glow. But whatever the reason, Papa and the cubs began to understand what Mama was talking about. Even more so on Thanksgiving Day. After the bears gave thanks for the wonderful meal they were about to enjoy, Sister Bear gave her own special thanks. I'm thankful, she said, that we didn't win first prize. If we had, the giant would be on display in front of City Hall instead of being part of the yummy pies we're going to have for dessert. Good, smart idea, sister. She would rather have the pumpkin at home to make pie than leave it at City Hall. As the laughter faded and the bears thought about the blessings of the family, home, friends, and neighbors, they knew deep in their hearts that there was no question about it. Indeed, they did have a great deal to be thankful for. Yay! The bears ended up having a great Thanksgiving. Papa Bear was really determined to win that pumpkin contest, but he wasn't doing it for the right reasons. He just wanted to be better than the other farmer. And Mama Bear kept reminding him that's not what Thanksgiving is about. So he didn't win the pumpkin contest, but he did learn a good lesson. He remembered all the things he had to be thankful for, and they got to use their pumpkin for pumpkin pie. I would much rather have pumpkin pie than a big prize pumpkin. I can't eat a big prize pumpkin, but I can eat pumpkin pie. And Papa Bear and the little bears learned that you just need to be thankful for what you have. God has given us so much to be thankful for, and I'm glad the bears have learned that that's what Thanksgiving is really all about. I hope you'll remember that at Thanksgiving. It's coming up so soon, and I hope you'll remember to be thankful for all the things that you have. Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, school, teacher's house, clothes, toys, so much to be thankful for. At Thanksgiving time this year, I want you to think about that. Think about how wonderful things are and how much you have to be thankful for. That would be a really good thing to do. And you could give Mom and Dad something really to be thankful for if you remember. Obey, and obey right away. And then come back and see Miss Dorothy, because I'm going to be sitting right here, ready to read another book to you. Bye! Thanks for reading with Miss Dorothy. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you'll come back soon to read another. What's your favorite book? Drop Miss Dorothy a note and let me know. I'll go find it, and I'll read it to you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you soon.